I learned the hard way so that you don't have to, that your guides, your deities, the spirits and the divine that you work with will never belittle you. They will never disempower you. They will never put you down, really. We work with the divine so that we can learn, so that we can grow. I learned the hard way that a lot of times that critical voice is actually our own inner critic, right? So I had an experience when I first started working with the divine that I thought for a while was them putting me down, criticizing me, belittling me. And due to being raised in a mainstream religion that is very fear mongering, I interpreted it as they were essentially correcting me. They were um, smiting me, or they were scolding me. They were putting me down. They were, I was afraid. I felt like shameful. I felt like I was being essentially scolded, like I was a bad child. And eventually, what I realized was that they were giving me advice, and my own conditioning and my own inner critic was interpreting that through a shame based lens, through a lens of shaming myself. I also found that there are times specifically, and this might not be the case for everyone, but because of the nature of the way that my main spirit guide tends to help me, he will show me my inner critical voice. He will show me my inner shame. Like he will pull it out of my unconscious and be like, this is something you think about yourself. This is something you say about yourself. This is something you feel about yourself. And he will show it to me because the intention is that I acknowledge it, I deal with it, I work with it so that I can view myself in a more loving light, so that I can maybe acknowledge and take accountability in a way that is more loving and actually leads to growth rather than further blocking and limiting and putting myself down. I honestly think that this is why a lot of people think or are scared that they are talking to tricksters or they are talking to some sort of negative or malicious entity, when really it's just that their guides are showing them their own critical voice. And this isn't going to be the case for everyone, but it was definitely the case for me. And the reason that I know that they were not insulting me or berating me, they were showing me my own critical voice, or they were giving me advice that my critical voice interpreted as in a shame based way, because that was my conditioning. The reason that I know that to be the case for myself is because since acknowledging and working through the issues in the way that I've been guided to, in the way that my own higher mind has called me to, and the way that the entities that I work with guide me to, there are, it's like a release of the belief and a release of the energy in a way that opens up space, in a way that will naturally change behavior, will naturally change the way you view the world, will naturally change your perspective on your reality. As I have acknowledged these inner critical voices and worked with them, as I have acknowledged the things that I was shaming myself for and worked with them and allowed myself to work with it in a more loving way, it has essentially released the issue. And it doesn't just release the issue, like it doesn't just change my behavior. For me, it literally creates space within me. I feel less drained. I feel less weighed down. I feel like it releases this stuck, stagnant, heavy energy. I feel like it creates more space within me, more passion. Like I know when I'm not weighed down by my inner critical voice, by my inner shame, by all these unconscious limiting, shame based, fearful, doubtful beliefs, when I'm not being weighed down by those things, my brain is immediately more focused on things that I'm passionate about, ways that I can improve my life, things that make me happy. Like, I'm somebody who has always wanted to explore. I'm a very curious person, but I'm constantly distracted by my own heavy emotions. And since actually acknowledging them in the way that I was guided to acknowledge them and overcome them with love and deal with them, I have, it has created this space in me to actually be curious, to actually explore, to actually create, have passions, have things that I care about in a way that I just didn't have the space for before. So if you decide to start working with your guides and the first thing you notice is critical voices, know that that is completely normal. And I even learned this when I went to school for hypnotherapy. When you first start diving into your subconscious mind, it is completely normal for the repressed negative emotions to be the first thing that comes up. So if your repressed negative beliefs, emotions, and thoughts are the first thing that comes up, that's normal. And it is not spirit berating you. It is not spirit attacking you. If anything, it is spirit guiding you to undo the shame, to deal with the problems in a way that is loving and creates more space for growth and expansion and exploration.